Hi and welcome to another tutorial. In today's lesson we'll learn how to recreate this cool looking cinematic text flyby effect using Premiere Pro. So anyways guys, let's jump in. So the first thing that I've done here is I've created a new project and now I need to drag my media to get started with this project. So all I need to do is import my media. So right click import, and once your media is imported then you can drag it to your timeline to create your sequence settings. Now this is just a drone shot that I have down at Eden and this will work really cool for this effect. So once we've got that done, what we need to do is we need to come over here and click on the type tool. And then we need to click anywhere on the screen. And now you can write your text. So I'm just going to write cinematic text. Now I'm just going to highlight all of that and then I'm going to go over to the Essential Graphics panel, and if you don't have that you can go to Window Essential Graphics, and here is where you can change some of the things for your text. So if you want to change the font that I'm using here is Gotham, but you're free to choose whatever font that you like, and I'm choosing the medium variant of this font. But if you go a bit thinner, book looks nice and also light looks nice, so they all work fine. So I'm going to stick with medium. I then am going to change the size of the text. So I'm just going to put it to about, let's say 140. And then I'm going to change the spacing in between the characters. So I'm going to set it to about 250. And now once I've finished editing the text, what I need to do is I need to come over here and just align it vertically to my screen. So I need to align vertically and I need to align horizontally. Once you've got that, then you can work on the animation. So what we're going to do to create this animation is I'm going to come over here to effects and I'm going to search for an effect called Basic 3D. So I'm going to drag that to my cinematic text. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to search for this distance to image. And you can see how that's what the effect is going to look like. So what I'm going to do is I'm first going to click on the stopwatch. And then I'm going to bring this up to about, let's say 400. You can even go even more than that. Let's say maybe 450. And then once you've done that, move towards the end of that text layer. And I'm going to bring it to negative 101. And now if you've done that correctly, you will see that you've just created that very simple flyby animation. And honestly, you can leave it there if you want, but I'm going to dress this up a little bit nicer. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm just going to highlight both these keyframes. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go to Bezier. And then once I've done that, I'm just going to click on this icon over here to drop down and bring the graph editor up. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold shift and click on this little handle. And then I'm going to bring it all the way to as far as it can go. And then I'm going to do the same for the other handle, but this time I'm going to click and drag the other way. So now what I have is I have a animation that starts off fairly slow. And then as it gets, speed, it kind of ramps up and then it kind of flies through. And I think that looks pretty cool as it is. So the next thing that we can do is we can add some opacity animation to that as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click the stopwatch for opacity. And then that's the 100% opacity. So I'm going to bring that to probably about halfway through this animation. So probably about 2 seconds. And then what I'm going to do is make sure that I'm on the first keyframe, drop it down to 0. And now if I preview that, you can see that the text kind of fades in. And that's looking pretty good. So now that I'm done with that, the final thing that I want to do with the text is I just want to add some drop shadow to that. So all I have to do is search for the effect drop shadow, drag it to my timeline, and then you can play around with some of the settings here, but I think the settings as they are pretty good, so I'll keep them intact. Now the next thing and the final thing that we need to do for this cinematic animation is to add some crop bars. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come over here and I'm going to add a new adjustment layer. And I'm going to drag this adjustment layer and I'm going to make sure that it goes the entire duration of my clip. And then what I'm going to search for in the effects panel is crop. So I'm going to drag that to the adjustment layer. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go over here to top and bring that to 12 and bottom and bring that to 12, and you've got those nice cinematic bars. Now you can also animate those bars as well if you want, and that would look pretty nice with your text. So the final thing that we're going to add here is I'm just going to add some Lumetri color to this clip. Because this was filmed on a DJI Mavic 2 drone, I did shoot this in log, so I need to bring some color back into it. So I'm just going to come over here to Lumetri color, go to creative, and then I'm just going to add one of these looks. So I'm probably going to come over here and add the orange one, and I'm just going to bring down the intensity to maybe something like 70%. And there we have it. So now we've got a nice cinematic text title that zooms in and looks pretty cool. Now if you want to extend that animation, I can press R on my keyboard, and now I can drag it out to the entire duration of that clip. So depending on what you want and what you want to get out of it, you can do that by pressing R, which is kind of like a time stretching option. So anyways guys, that's it for this quick tutorial on how to do a cinematic flyby effect in Premiere Pro. I hope you guys learned something. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.